French newspapers with our press reviewer, Florence Vimino. Hello, Florence.
Hi, Lorna.
So the military operation in Mali, of course, still very much front page news.
That's right. And in fact, the foreign minister, Laurent Fabius, has given an exclusive interview to Metro, which is a free newspaper here in France. Kind of a surprising choice for him. And he answers the question that many people have been asking for a long time. He says our troops should leave Mali starting in March if everything goes according to plan. Now, inside Metro points out that this is one of the key questions. What is France's role going to be now that strategic towns in the north have been freed from Islamist rebels? Well, Fabius says France is not planning on sticking around for a long time and hopes to pass the baton on of leadership of this military operation to Malian troops and African troops very soon.
Okay, well, Libération, meanwhile, the left-leaning paper, also focusing on Mali and how residents in Gao resisted the Islamists when they invaded.
That's right. Libération says that the nightmare in Gao lasted for 9 months. And this article outlines how residents did their best to resist the Islamist occupants and their strict application of Sharia law. For instance, there's one doctor named Suleiman who says that he refused to amputate the limbs of people who were accused of stealing. And he says he risked his life to do so. Now, in all, 9 people were sentenced to amputations in the name of Sharia law. And according to Dr. Suleiman, the darkest day was on August 6th, when 5 men were dragged into the public square. Now, their right hand and their left foot were cut off using a knife without anesthetics. He says that that day he ended up treating patients, but he felt more like a butcher than like a doctor.
Interesting stories there. But other papers, meanwhile, are focusing on one of the big stories of the day here in France. That is the government giving a green light for the first supervised injection site for drug addicts.
That's right. Now, in France, these sites are called salles de shoot, so shoot-up rooms, I guess you could call them. It's a very controversial measure that's drawn quite a lot of criticism. But yesterday, the Prime Minister, Jean-Marc Ayrault, gave his green light, and that's on the front page of Aujourd'hui en France today, so a green light to these supervised injection sites. Now, inside, Aujourd'hui en France points out that the first injection site in Paris should open in the spring somewhere near the Gare du Nord, which is an area where there are a lot of drug addicts. So it's going to be a safe and clean environment where these drug addicts can shoot themselves up with a heroin or crack. It's just going to be an experiment for now, but it could spread to other cities like Bordeaux and Marseille. And Aujourd'hui en France points out that there's a general consensus amongst doctors who say this is actually a very good thing, and it's also a way to help drug addicts get clean. And also, doctors point out that it's worked in other cities, such as Vancouver in Canada. But it's very controversial, and Le Figaro points this out. It says that those who are opposed to it see it as this sneaky way of authorizing the use of illegal drugs, and also it encourages people to take drugs rather than stopping them. Le Figaro also points out that people in the neighborhood of Gare du Nord aren't so thrilled about this. They feel uncomfortable about having this shoot-up site. They say that they're afraid it's going to attract trouble, not only more drug addicts, but also drug dealers.
Well, finally, staying here in France, the debate on gay marriage is raging on. What's the latest today?
Well, Le Figaro has an exclusive about the medically assisted procreation for lesbian couples. Now, originally, this very controversial bill was supposed to be part of the debate on gay marriage. The government then said that it would actually be debated later, and at the end of March, a debate more on the family in general. Well, Le Figaro says that this debate is actually not going to happen until the end of the year. So it seems like the government is putting off the moment when it's going to face the wrath of the opposition. But this is really what's getting a lot of news, and that is a laughing fit that Christiane Taubira, the justice minister, had in Parliament yesterday. I think we have footage of this, so let's take a look, and I'll tell you what's going on. Now, she is seriously sparring with a member of the opposition here, as you can see, and then she just loses it. She starts laughing her head off, and it becomes very contagious. The whole Parliament starts laughing. So the Justice Minister has been in this marathon. She's been there every day during these marathon debates. It seems like everyone's getting a little tired and losing it. Maybe it's time for a little break.
It certainly is great footage, though, I have to say. Good for them. Good to see that it's not always heated and violent in there. Sometimes there's some nice, light-hearted exchanges. Thank you very much, Florence, for that look at today's newspapers. Well, still to come here on Live from Paris, we're taking a trip to the Pakistani city of Karachi, where it's frighteningly easy for young people to get hold of guns and where they're using them to devastating effect. We'll be taking a look at Pakistan's firearms fixation in focus. That's after the news, after the breaks.